Welcome to the DevReady Podcast. Joining me on today's episode of the DevReady Podcast, I have Mas Abdi. Thanks for joining me, Mas.
Hey, Anthony, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. As usual, I'll let you explain who you are and what you do so I don't make any mistakes.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I'll give you a bit of a rundown. So, I finished my PhD in 2019. Actually, it was in AI, generative AI specifically. Um, then went to consulting. AI wasn't really as big as a term as it is today. Uh, but yeah, so I went to consulting. I really like upskilled in a lot of different spaces, front end, back end, really tech heavy stuff. Then went to corporate for a couple of years where, I was doing data science, analytics, visualization. And then since a couple of months ago, I've basically left a day job and trying to start my own startup. And so, yeah, like I'm sure we get to that.
Yep, that's an interesting journey there. What was your PhD topic around on the generative AI at that point? Because not many people had heard of it in 2019.
Yeah, exactly. So it was actually generative AI, and I was working on variational autoencoders and GANs basically, which is like adversarial networks. And GANs were probably like the best AI models or like generative models in image space. And then a couple of years later, diffusion models came out, and they basically, outperformed them hugely. But GANs were the most promising ones there. And then the variation autoencoder is basically kind of the basis of, all these transformers as well to some level. So yeah, like I was working on them, lots of research and a few kind of papers, and then uh, it wasn't really working as much, and it wasn't like useful in the industry as much.
Yep.
So I kind of went to industry, and then I started learning a lot of the, basic in the industry, the cloud and infrastructure and how to build products and that kind of stuff. And then, when I was at Center Group, kind of, obviously OpenAI started and kind of coming out to the mainstream, and then, started building stuff on it. And I was actually listening to you guys. You guys got on OpenAI pretty early on.
Yeah, you've heard me mention that.
Yeah, I
So
did.
I
Yeah,
think it was early 22, could have been late
yeah,
21. I had an account.
yeah,
No, actually, we were in our office, so it was at the start of COVID. It would have been
yeah,
2020 maybe, because I remember being in the office and making an account, testing a prompt. Oh, I can write something like a podcast and then
yeah,
like a blog, and then I just ignored it, which was a
yeah.
mistake. Looking back now,
Well, you never know. You never know how this plays out. But yeah, it was kind of
no,
similar for me. I was reading a lot of the papers, and the transformers and that kind of stuff. But it wasn't that clear that, scaling them would lead to such huge kind of results.
yep. I,
And
I
so,
I don't
yeah,
think
like,
anyone understood the potential value. So not
yeah,
just probably scaling it. It's like, all right, it can write some cool sentences or a blog post for you, but I don't like people probably like myself. We never made the connection to what that actually means.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm sure like people like Reid Hoffman, they probably knew it and saw it coming, to be honest.
Yep.
They're one of the early investors in OpenAI. So yeah, like they were very close, but yeah, like most of the people probably had no idea.
Yeah. So you're probably gonna be familiar with that article about the unicorns being discovered. So
No.
that was to be the biggest like flag. So at one point before everything was done, so it would have been 2019, maybe late 2018. There was a research paper written by AI talking about discovering unicorns in some hidden valley in Peru, and it had citations. It had made up the people's names, and it was written like a proper research paper. And that was really, I was like, oh shit, something's going to happen here because
Yeah,
you could not tell that was made up like by
yeah,
AI. It read like it was a proper research paper. And then they
yeah,
stopped it because they said it was going to be too dangerous during the elections in America because there'd just be so much misinformation. And that's what
yeah.
we're seeing now. And that's the problem is it's so, so commoditized that everyone can just access it.
Yeah, and yeah, it's scary kind of. Also, no one knows how it's going to play out. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's some rumors that GPT-4 or 5 is out, but they're probably going to hold off after the election. And but
Could
yeah,
be.
like
Yeah, their biggest problem that I think is probably going to end up being is we're going to run out of human content soon, probably, with the amount
Yeah.
of how much they're consuming. Because you
Yes.
can't keep training it on the same data as well, because then you'll get similar results. I'm assuming. I know
Yeah.
enough to keep a conversation about this stuff and get myself in trouble, but probably not at the level, nowhere near the level that you know.
No, yeah, like I'm sure you probably know as much as I would, but yeah, like I think data seem to be the key, and if you basically improve the quality of the data, the models just get smarter and smarter. So like
Yeah.
how far you can keep improving it, probably to the level of the smartest people, and then is it going to keep improving after that? I would argue probably yes,
Hmm.
because it could just like simulate scenarios and then, you know, uh, keep going. But yeah, no one
Yeah.
knows really.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It might end up being that there's so much AI content that ends up being like a feedback when you have a microphone near a speaker, and it
Yeah.
just keeps getting worse. Like because it's just going to be training on content that it's created itself. So I don't know what that's going to mean.
Yes, yes. There is some theories out there that, like the dead internet theory, which is like if everything kind of like if AI becomes so good that everything on the internet is almost real, but it's not. And then like what's going to happen really? Like
Yeah, yeah. It's
yeah,
it's interesting times for sure in that space.
yeah,
Now, going on where you mentioned there the quality of data. Before we started, you mentioned you've got a few different like ideas running, and you're trying
yeah,
to see right which one's going to go with. So,
yes.
how is your data science background or what you're trying to do trying to help you figure out which one of those startups that you've got the few paths in front of you is the one that you're going to go down?
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I'll give you a little bit of a background as well. So, I started pretty early as well on building, apps on, let's say, Gen AI, especially text models. So, I was at corporate. I was building really like customized stuff, fine-tuning models back then. And then I saw an opportunity. I was like, okay, so we need to be able to fine-tune much easier than what we are doing right now, which is like you have to code. So then I went to, okay, let's do fine tuning, low code, no code kind of fine tuning and
Hmm.
custom GPTs. And then I built a product on that. It was called Contentable. But then I kind of realized, damn, like this is like very fast and OpenAI is probably going to release something similar, which they did. And
Yeah.
so yeah, it was a good decision to kind of stop on that. So we start on that, and fine tuning now on OpenAI is probably no code. If you just like have the data in a JSON format, yeah, it'll be pretty much no code. Then we went to kind of job application. So I was like, I wanted to change jobs, and then I was like, okay, it's so annoying because basically I had this resume, but I lost the original file of the resume. So it was just a PDF that I had. And I
Yep.
was like, I'm not going to write all of these things out again, ever again, right? So then basically kind of clicked and I was like, okay, it would be good if I can just like, upload this thing somewhere and then create a resume and then be able to quickly edit that resume to different jobs, slightly, you wouldn't lie, but you want to slightly position yourself. So if you're a data scientist and you haven't done like data engineering in the past, but you have the knowledge, you can kind of apply for a data engineer role as well. So,
Hmm.
or if you're like a front end engineer and you've done a bit of back end and you're confident that you'll be able to do that, you can basically apply for a full stack or even a back end engineering job. So that's kind of one of the products that kind of, helps you very quickly tailor your resume to a job. That's one of them. There's another one in the recruitment space, which is now, as a recruiter, you're going to get spam with all of these applications. I mean, not everyone is going to be honest. So some people are
No.
just going to like, or use low quality models, which would have a lot of hallucinations, and then they're just going to apply.
Yep.
So now you need to basically filter and find out the top candidates and, interview them and then like go to the next steps. So yeah, there's at least two products that I'm working on and basically see which one is going to be more promising.
Okay. I think just on that the recruiter section, I'm sure there's probably plenty of resumes that have been handed in that say somewhere in the middle of the content says, "Sure, here's your content," and they
Yeah,
just copied and pasted straight out. People don't
exactly.
check things. I've seen emails like that.
Yeah, yeah, that is
Yeah,
that is funny. That is funny. So yeah, having said that, the tool that we built, Easy Apply, it's called Easy Apply AI. Basically, it kind of gets rid of those issues as well because it's kind of like I don't know if you use Claude. Have you used Claude?
a
The
little bit, not
artifacts
too
on
much.
Claude. So basically, Claude has this thing that if you ask it to code something, something on the right pane comes up and kind of writes the code and then shows you the code and kind of runs the code. So basically, Easy Apply has a similar kind of user experience where you upload your resume on the left and you have ChatGPT on the left, and then you basically bring a job description. You put the job description onto the left. ChatGPT will update the PDF on the right, and it
Okay.
wouldn't have all of those like here sure
Yeah.
here's your resume, sure here's your updated resume. It'll be all formatted, and basically you can just download it with one click, and
Yep.
happy days.
So, are you more focusing on the easy apply or sort of on the recruiter side, or you're testing the waters? I think what you
Testing
mentioned.
the waters, definitely. We are seeing a lot more traction on Easy Apply. So, like, we've launched a couple of months ago, few months ago, actually. Like, March was the initial version.
Hmm.
May was an improved version. Since then, like 500 people have signed in
Oh,
and
nice.
kind of used the product, and a few people, 1% have paid, 1 to 2%
Yep.
have paid. So there's a lot more traction on the Easy Apply side, but also, yeah, trying to figure out, whether recruitment is going to be, a better space or not.
Yep. So my guess on the recruitment side, with what little I know about the space, is it's going to be one of those job portals that'll probably build that in and be able to scan everything because they're already taking in all of the documents, so they've got the channel
Yes,
there. It might be a
yes.
bit hard to jump into that space.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the reasons that, we are basically focusing on Easy Apply a lot more. And yeah, so like there's a lot of competition, a lot of companies coming and doing like video AI interviews.
Hmm.
There's so many in Sydney that I know, and so if you say worldwide, there'll be a lot more. So many agentic kind of recruiters coming in the US, like basically doing the reference checks and interviews and screening calls and even like booking in your calendar and that kind of stuff. So
Yep.
yeah, it's just going to be competitive space in that space, but we are definitely seeing a lot more traction on Easy Apply. Yeah.
Oh, that's good to hear. For some reason, I just thought of a feature you can add if you haven't got this already. But it'll be like a
No,
Chrome extension. So when you're browsing the job listings, you can just then click a button
that
from there
is,
and lodge a job into your system. So you
I
don't have to
love
then
that.
copy and paste.
Literally, that is such a good point. And let me tell you a little bit of a story. Basically, where Easy Apply started was kind of that. It was a browser extension. It didn't do the tailoring back then. So initially it started as kind of like a weekend project. I was like, okay, I want to apply to job, but I'm lazy. I
Yep.
want an AI to go apply for jobs for me. And then I actually did it because like the agentic workflows on browsers were becoming a thing. So you can
Hmm.
basically have your AI control your browser. So basically build that you uploaded your resume and then it'll go through easy apply jobs on LinkedIn. It will just like apply one by one. That's where it started. And then I was like,
Okay.
okay, this is going to be very expensive first because like calling that LLM in a loop is very expensive.
Yep.
Also, then I'm gonna have to charge people so much for this. It didn't make sense in terms of the units of economics. Like then talking to a lot of people, they actually love to be able to control what the AI is generating because they
Hmm.
didn't trust it, which is fair
Yep.
enough. And that's where we were like, okay, we need an AI that kind of helps you create that resume. And your actually point is very valid. We're going to be working on that, which is you're on LinkedIn, you see a job
Hmm.
or any website
Yeah, it
really
should
could
be
be
any
Seek.
job platform.
Yeah, as long as you're logged in and you basically just like have the browser extension there, you can just click. We create a tailored resume and cover letter, which you can then go to Easy Apply. Then you can basically see it and edit it if you want.
Yep.
further edit it, download it, and then just go apply, basically.
Yeah, that's a very easy workflow for someone. Just
Yeah,
queue up a job in the background, let it do its thing, and then you just go back to it when you're ready.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, cool. So, what are some of sort of the key learnings you've had across that journey then? Or, so you're very data driven. I could tell by the way you're talking and how
Yes.
things are happening.
Yes.
I like your approach that you're probably similar to the way I do things. I say you give a job to a lazy man, he'll find an easy way to do it.
Yes.
And that's how you approach the initial idea is, I don't want to sit there and do this. So how can I make
Yeah.
something do it for me?
Yeah.
But what sort of mistakes have you had along the way or sort of key learnings have you had in this very short 6-month journey?
Yeah. So it's been a 6 month journey, but I've been basically doing these for for the past 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of getting to a place that there's real traction. And the main learnings is just like talking to your customers. I think that's probably just the most important thing in the
Hmm.
startup world. Like you just have to go and sit down with them. There's really two things that you need to do as a startup founder. It's like build something and then go and put it in front of users and get them to use it and basically talk to them. And through basically just like if you iterate on that fast enough, at some point you're going to get somewhere that okay, it will be good enough. So yeah, like my learning was, I enjoy coding. I enjoy basically just like sitting in and like uh, basically just like coding, bringing something new. It's very creative. But at the same time, you're gonna have to go and talk to your customers and basically like sit down with them and say, this is my baby. Tell me why it's ugly, basically. Like and learning that I've actually learned very recently is that you have to like disarm your customers. So obviously it's very hard because like you've basically spent like months and months to build this thing and it's actually your baby and then you go put it in front of your people. It's kind of hard emotionally for you as a founder, but you're going to have to disarm the customers that you're talking to, basically saying that there's nothing that you would tell me that would basically hurt my feeling. I want your honest opinions. Just tell me why. And then you've got to like talk to them as if like, hey, like you're gonna pay for this or not, and if not, tell me why.
Yeah.
Basically, like take their credit cards. I'm exaggerating, but like taking their credit cards and be like, you're paying for this or not, just tell me why. And through that loop of the feedback, yeah, and then you go back and build a product, make it better, bring it back, finally get somewhere. So that's been the biggest learning probably for me.
Yeah. And I think a lot of startups that we've spoken to, they miss that point. They think they know what they need to build, or they think they know what their customers tell them. But
Yes.
it's never the case. It's you're the owner, you're solved your problem, but there's all the other people you're solving a problem for have different issues. So it's just
Having
really
said,
okay. Yeah.
yeah, no, I appreciate that. I think having said that though, I think there's also a lack of trust in the founder's intuition as well. It's kind of like you go and talk to them, to your customers, and then they tell you some things, but you just don't take whatever they say. You go and you put your own art onto it, and then create something new. And if you just blindly follow exactly what they say, I think you'll be in trouble as well. So you're gonna have to trust the intuition as well. So that's what we've done. And yeah,
You definitely need both. It's all right,
bit
take
of
the
both.
feedback, but not just what one person says. If you get the same thing back from 60, 70% of people, that means something. That's
100%.
not take it straight on, but it's how do I interpret that? How does that actually fit in with the vision that we have? Because you've got a vision for where you want to take this, and they may just completely shift it, but are they the target market you actually want? Or is that just the market you have now? And then that's when you're at that crossroads where you have to decide, am I going left or am I going right? Am I going to go with what the market wants or with what I actually believe the market needs to shift to? Because if you're trying to do something very innovative, you're trying to change the way the market thinks or operates, like Uber
100%.
versus taxis. Yeah. Before Uber came
Yeah.
around, no one would have said, yeah, I'm just going to jump into a car with a stranger and let him
Yeah.
take me somewhere. You'd end up on a true crime serial killer documentary otherwise.
Yeah.
That's
No,
what everyone would have thought.
that is such a good example. Yeah, like you just listen to the customers and you basically bring that thing that you think would solve their problem in a disruptive way rather than just
Yeah.
like, exactly doing what they're asking for, which is kind of the odds. Yeah.
Yeah, and let's say Airbnb, same thing.
Yeah.
Never would
Exactly.
anyone have thought before, I'm just going to let a stranger sleep in my house for a night,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
even if they're
Yeah.
paying me.
100%. Yeah. Like that's exactly, same thing with Stripe founders and yeah, it's just that whole story again and again.
Yeah, it's if you're trying to break into an entire new market, then yes, you need the conviction to go with what you believe 100% because
Yeah.
the market doesn't know what they want.
Yes. Yeah.
Henry Ford again, yeah, yeah. If I asked the
Yeah.
customers what they wanted, they would have said a faster horse, not a car.
100%.
It's a similar thing. It's when you've got a market there that you can shift. That's when you need to take in feedback, and then you bring them along on your journey with you. So,
100%.
in your space with building that product, Easy Apply and allowing people to get their resumes updated quickly, OpenAI has done a lot of that work for yourself and for us in that platform in educating people on what it does, how it works. So it's a very easy like buy-in now to say, all right, it's OpenAI powered or it's LLM powered, and everyone sort of knows what that means.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Michael Kahn, I don't know if you know Michael, no, Justin Kahn. Yeah, the founder of Twitch. He's a
Yeah,
very
I've heard of
interesting
the
guy.
name.
Yeah, like he's very interesting, and he basically talks about this, and he basically mentions that there are two types of risks. One's the market risk, and one's the execution risk. So
Okay.
basically, market risk is Airbnb. You go Airbnbs and Ubers. You go and create a new market. Uh, but yeah, it's just like something really new. And then there's the execution risk, which is like there is already stuff out there, and then you go execute better than anyone else. Which, for example, Google might be an example.
Yeah, Google versus Yahoo.
Google versus Yahoo. What else? Like Post Hug, kind of my favorite new companies. They're just like combination of 6 or 7 different products and it's like they just do the job of Google Analytics and session recording, a
Yeah, they
lot of
just
different things.
do it better.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas, yeah, Airbnbs are just a market risk. Not sure which one we fall into, but
You're probably in the. I don't think you're creating a new market,
yeah,
but you're bringing together a few different things at once to deliver something. Yeah, so you
yes,
piece of Grammarly because people would use Grammarly and Word, and then that's how they're doing it. Or
exactly.
and they'd use Google Drive to store their files, or OneDrive, or whatever it may be. You're
And
trying to
then
centralize
ChatGPT
a couple of
also,
things, yeah, and you're bringing
yeah,
that in, yeah. So you're bringing the intelligence to it.
yeah, yeah. So like, yeah, like the issue with the current way people do things is that you have your resume in Google Docs. You have to go to ChatGPT and prompt it, and then you basically get something. You have to bring that back in. You have to then put it in there and then worry about formatting, fix the formatting. And then,
Hmm.
that's a pain. But also like when you ask ChatGPT to just change a specific section of that resume, it might change other parts that you're already happy with. So you can't just bring it all in and drop it into a new file and then download it.
Yeah,
You and also just like if you just bring that one section, it'll be just like very annoying and the formatting might get lost. So we
yeah,
basically get rid of that issue. It's just like everything's just like
yeah.
there and you
It's
just
just a
download it.
more seamless process because the biggest problem is you're going to copy the whole document, you're going to paste it into ChatGPT and say adjust this resume, and then you get 50 bullet points back, and then you got to figure out how to put them into the document correctly. So that's a
Yeah.
pain. When you can
Yeah.
do it at a button press and just download the document, you've saved someone half an hour to an hour, maybe
Yeah.
more depending on how pedantic they are when they're writing as well.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, so it's a similar learning to us. We've got a platform that we've got AI in it, which is for our consulting. So we've systemized our consulting process and help you design a product spec with AI. But
Nice.
people ask us like, so why are you different than ChatGPT? All right. Well, if you go to ChatGPT, you need to know how to prompt it. You need to know if you're going to do this repeatedly. You're going to have to just repeat the same steps over and over and remember what to do, which is a similar thing to yourself. Yeah. You can go to ChatGPT and ask it to do things, but you have to remember the prompt. You need to know how to tell it the right thing before, so you can get the right answer. And there's a lot more detail there. It's not just it can do it. But as you mentioned earlier, there's a lot of surface level tools, like the one you're originally working on, that can get replaced by OpenAI through an update. So it's
Yeah,
not just,
100%.
yeah, how do I add OpenAI or ChatGPT or Claude or anything into a platform? It's how am I providing value using this new tool that I have, which is the AI, the LLM.
So yeah, like I was saying, that there's definitely the risk that Claude and OpenAI would go to the space and kind of do the formatting. But if you think about it, who's their customer? Their customers are developers. They will they build consumer products as well, but I think their main customer is developers, and they're competing on that. So it might give us like 6 to 12 months to basically really shine in there and kind of make it easier uh, for anyone to just like edit, professionally designed documents, in this case,
Yep.
cover letters and resumes. We might extend and go to other sort of, document types, but I think it's good to niche down and kind of make sure that, thing works and, people are happy with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely a risk.
Yeah, having that niche is important. There's a saying that I don't know where I got it from or where I read it, but it's a one customer, one problem, one solution. Just
100%.
focus on that, and that gives you a niche, and you've got a differentiation point. If you become a document management, you're Panda Docs
Yeah,
or
yeah,
Word.
100%.
Like there's you have to niche and provide value to someone at one specific level and solve their problem. And
Yeah,
you're in a good space because applying for jobs is something that's never going to go away. It's not like you're going to run out of customers. You've got enough volume and churn there to do the once-off or repeat things.
yeah. Having said that, though, I don't know if you heard about Reid Hoffman's kind of latest thing, which is 9 to 5 is going to go extinct. Like, how do you feel about that? Like, do you think?
Hadn't heard that, but if people are still doing the jobs, that'll exist. You'll just have agents doing stuff in the background, but they'll just be on waiting for people to respond. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think we're very far away from people releasing the reins to an AI to run things completely autonomously.
yeah, 100%, 100%. You can tell it's happening faster than everyone else thinks,
Oh,
though.
100,
Like,
definitely. It's in the last 2 years, the amount of change that's come because of those systems and how fast they've improved. It's ridiculous. I tell people like today's the worst it's going to be.
yeah,
Like yesterday, tomorrow is going to be better than today for all of these platforms. So we're really at the infancy of all this sort of stuff, but it's the problem with sort of like that 9 to 5 notion going away with people and their work is there's a lot of reputation risk. So
yes,
I'm not going to
without a doubt.
trust an automatic email without review going out to a client or a brand because then that can destroy a relationship without you realizing just because of what it says. Or they just
Yes,
think you're lazy because you're not even reviewing, you're just copying and pasting straight out of a GPT.
yeah,
There's different things
yeah,
to consider, I think, for that model.
100%, 100%. Like, there is probably like significant amount of people's jobs are being done by ChatGPT, including ours. Like people basically building stuff. We
Yep.
basically just rely on ChatGPT and Claude, and I can't imagine not having them anymore. It'll be just like very difficult.
Yeah, the amount of time it will take to do things.
Yeah,
I'd need 3 weeks to fit into one.
100%.
Like the approach that I'm taking when I've been building our platform is I'm trying to put myself out of a job.
Yeah,
That's how
yeah.
lazy
That's
I am.
that's exactly the whole philosophy around Easy Apply as well. Yeah,
Yeah. So in saying that though, but I'm not trying to put myself out of a job. I'm trying to change my job. So my job is now not to just put words on a document and plan software and architect it. It's now review what comes back and add in all of the knowledge that's missing and the nuance that I know that hasn't been captured in a document somewhere and I've heard in a meeting or I have from experience of other systems that are similar and
yeah,
now
yeah,
design and bring it together in a cohesive piece.
yeah. Yeah, I guess like you are operating at a higher level than
Yeah.
just like dealing with very, small like word level, things and challenges. You're
Mhm.
basically just like thinking about it, and you're basically saying, okay, this is what needs to be done, and then you let the AI do the
Yeah.
rest, and I think
It,
that's just gonna keep going.
yeah, it's shifting again to higher quality work or higher value work that you can do. So you'll be able to spend more time on the face-to-face and the customer accounts and things like that. Because you're not sitting there having to draft 100 emails. You'll
Yeah.
be able to do the more person-to-person thing where the AI will never be able to get to.
Yes. Not until
Yeah.
robots come in. No,
Yeah,
I'm
well,
just kidding.
we've seen iRobot and Terminator and Matrix and all those things. I don't
Yeah.
know how close we're going to get to any of those things, but iRobot's probably going to be the closest one. There's
Yeah.
already all
Yeah.
these different robots that are doing stuff that people are showing off.
Yeah. That's
So,
hilarious. Yeah.
in your, say, 5-year journey in learning all of this and starting with LLMs and where you've seen it, what's your sort of vision for where you think things will be going in the next 6 to 12 months? Because if I say any longer, it's just going to be completely made up, like sci-fi almost, with how
Yeah.
fast things change.
100%. I think my short answer is no one really knows, right? But we have some idea, like we can think and say, okay, like Reid Hoffman has been right about internet, has been right about social network, and has been right about, OpenAI, to be honest, really. Like he's one of the first people who invested in them. And he's probably right about this as well. So like it's gonna go to a place where, you wouldn't have to do a 9 to 5. You would probably just do couple of hours and you basically just be a manager of a bunch of agents doing the job, whatever that means. And what I also think is that you're gonna have to become, if you want to stay competitive, you're gonna have to become like multidisciplinary. So if you can only just do one thing at this point, uh, that would be hard to defend over few years into the future. So because like someone who basically done something adjacent to that would be able to use AI agents to basically do a few things. Let's say if you're a product manager, you might be able to do a little bit of design, a little bit of coding, a little bit of uh, other things, stakeholder management. I think people are gonna have to start become multidisciplinary. That's kind of where I see, yeah, like if you're just, let's say, like I think that with the content writing thing, if you're just content writing right now, it's basically, I don't know if how you're gonna defend that, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and if you're just doing like component level, let's say software engineering, that's going to be also hard. So because you have all of these AI that basically just like take you from design to component, you just have someone, and then someone else is going to use AI to do the design. So how I see is that like people would be very capable people would be able to just like manage a bunch of these things. So you basically prompt AI to create a design for you first, and then you prompt that or pre-prompted already that goes to the code. Then you're gonna basically prompt that and make sure tests are done and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, like that's how I see. It might not happen in the next year or two, but you know,
At
I
some
think
point,
it's gonna
it'll be
happen. Yeah,
there. If you want to have the AI that helps you design the system, check out DevReady.ai. That's what we've been working on.
100%.
And that's the whole
Yeah,
point of what we're doing.
yeah,
It's like I said, yeah, it's using AI to help shift what people are doing and elevate them to be able to do better. So it's content writer. You don't become the writer, you become the editor
yes,
and put that human touch or put your experience into it because there's that human element that doesn't exist, that little nuance that's you can throw a joke or a quote or a reference into something that they won't. You can try, but it's just going to put in a meme or something like that isn't relevant to who you're talking to. So,
yeah.
yeah, definitely there will be a huge shift, I think. So, where to with Easy Apply now in the next 6 months?
Yeah, so we're just trying to just like market it as much as we can, and we're not spending a lot of money. It's just like personally me creating content and putting it on internet, and people seem to like it. But the audience is slow to grow, and that's going to be a bumpy road.
Mhm.
We are talking to universities and placement services and businesses that are helping students change careers and that kind of stuff, helping them transition into different careers. We're working with those businesses, and there's definitely opportunity there. We are talking to one of the universities in Sydney, which they're already using a similar product, and the product that they're already using is just going to give you hint as to how you can improve your resume.
Okay.
Whereas
Yep.
we can basically just do that, and with a little bit of a help, you can just do it yourself. And so yeah, like we definitely think there's some opportunity there. Longer term, there could be, going to different document types. So let's say RFPs or reports, managerial reports, or like what are these, like reviews when you're at the job, and yeah, I can't forget,
The
I can't
performance
remember the name.
reviews.
Performance reviews and that kind of stuff. So
Yep.
maybe we create sort of like more types of document and kind of allow people to do that. We basically take care of the prompting and let them just put their own content
Yep.
around it. But yeah, so we're gonna have to see. No one knows. We're just moving really fast and seeing where is the most kind of
Yep.
usage.
And that's the way to be. It's a fail fast and move forward, really.
Yeah.
Try something, see if it works. If it doesn't, if it does, all right, how does that inform your next decision? Either way,
Yeah,
really.
yeah, 100%. There's some good signs. We've had this streamer with a lot of subscribers on YouTube talking about the product. I suddenly basically saw people signing up, and they're mentioning that they've heard us from a streamer, and I was like, "Who is this?"
Yep.
So I emailed them. I was like, "Hey, like, where did you hear about it?" So I got the video, and it's like, and I was like, I wonder whether it's like a positive thing or is it like a negative thing, because I had no idea. But it's
Yep.
really like neutral. He's literally talking like, yes, it's a good idea to tailor your resume. Uh, Everyone else is also going to do it. So how's that going to play out? Which is a fair point.
Yep.
We don't know, but I think what we can do is that we can help people that, are going through transition right now get a better value or outcome out of it.
Yep. And then it's, don't just use it as is potentially, make your tweaks and then use those as well.
100%.
So then that's how you stand out, put in that human element again.
That's exactly how the UX works. So you have on the right, you have the editor, and you have to put your own touch. If you just like let AI do that, especially if you're using, not the best AI model, we're giving basically quotes on it right now for free. But if kind of that starts picking up, we're going to have to go back to GPT-4o, which would require people to basically edit it manually because it'll just hallucinate a lot more.
Yep.
But yeah, like you're going to have to do that, put that human element yourself, maybe put a few
Yep. And
spelling errors.
to make it look real.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the trick. It's just, don't just take it as is and listen to your audience really and move forward. If anyone wants to reach out and find out more about yourself, Mas, or Easy Apply, how can they do that?
Yeah, so I guess on LinkedIn, Mas Abdi, you can find me. Easy Apply AI. If you search on Google, we come up. We're still not coming up on Easy Apply because there's a lot of competition on that term. But yeah, if you search Easy Apply AI, we come up. And like we have socials. It's different things. It's not consolidated
Not
yet.
a problem. We'll add
But
all those links in the show
check
notes
out
for
the
everyone.
website and or reach out to me on LinkedIn. I think that would be the best.
Well, thank you for that, Mas. And we'll definitely add all that to the show notes. Once again, thanks for joining me. It's been a pleasure to chat, and it's great to see where you're going and sort of the evolution you've had over the past 5-6 years in this space.
Likewise, thank you so much, Anthony. Great to chat to you as well, and keep looking forward to keep connected.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Cheers.